Hello, Rose here, and welcome to Yarn Craftee. I'm excited to guide you through how to crochet these very cute, lovely, and eco-friendly scrubbies. Now, I uploaded a video of this scrubby years ago. However, I got some comments that some people couldn't follow through the video because they couldn't see the stitches clearly. Thus, I decided to upload an updated video. This time around, we're using one strand of yarn to make the scrubbies, and also changing the name from face scrubby to just scrubby, because I know some people are particular about what they use on their faces, and scratchy cotton isn't really the greatest to use on your face if you're particular about having lovely skin on your face. However, you can use the scrubbies as a sponge for your body to wash up. It works great. All right, without further ado, let's dive in. So this pattern uses aran weight cotton yarn and a 4.5 millimeter hook. We're going to start with magic circle, but if you do not know how to make a magic circle, you want to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and join into the very first chain. To form that ring in the center. However, I'm going to be starting with a slip knot, a magic circle. And chain. Alright. I'm going to chain 1, and I'll do 8 half double crochets into the ring. Eight half double crochets done. Now it's time for us to close up the circle. We're going to do that by joining into the very first half double crochet on the round. Try with a slip knot. Okay, that is done. Now what I would encourage you to do is to mark your stitch, because see, now we have joined here, right? And we'll be working into the front loops for the next round 2. But to make it easier for you, for the very first one, we're going to place our stitch marker or hairpin, if you don't have a stitch marker, into the back loop of the first stitch. Now this first stitch is where we just joined into. You can see that it's still connected here. So we'll place it into the back loop here, so that when we finish round 2, we will know where to join, so which will be in here. So you have your 2 loops here, but we're working into the front loop only. The front loop is this, okay, just this one loop. Usually you go under both loops to make your stitch, but this time for round 2 we're going to be doing in only one of the loops, which is the front loop. All right. Okay, now this is done. Heading on to round 2, chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 5, and slip stitch into the front loop of the first stitch. You see that? This very first stitch, this same place that's connected to the last stitch here, the very first stitch where we joined, slip stitch. Alright, that is done. Chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip stitch into the front loop of the next stitch. Okay, see that? Chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip stitch into the front loop of the next stitch. We want to repeat this around so that we end up having 8 chain 5 loops, because we had 8 stitches at the beginning of the round on round 1. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip stitch into the front loop of the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip stitch in FLO of next stitch. So FLO means front loop only, while BLO means back loop only. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip stitch in the FLO of next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip stitch in FLO of next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip stitch in FLO of next stitch. Let's count. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so we have 8 chain 5 loops now, and that is it. Now we're going to join into the back loop of the very first stitch. You see that? Where we marked with our stitch marker. So we will join into that back loop there. And there we go. That's the end of round 2. Alright, now let's head on to round 3. Round 3 is increase, okay, of half double crochet stitches. Now this is my back loop, which is still marked. We're going to be working into the back loop only, alright? So all of these ones here, all of these ones are where we will be working into. Now this back loop is not the same as the third loop of the half double crochet stitch. That is different, okay? That is different for this round. And throughout the pattern, we will be working into the front loop and the back loops only, just the regular 2 loops that you see on top of the stitch. If you want to see how to do a half double crochet, a stitch into the third loop of the half double crochet, you can see the shorts that I did previously. Alright, heading on to round 3, we will chain 1, and because we're increasing, we will do 2 half double crochets into the first stitch, the back loop of this very stitch that is still marked with the stitch marker. Okay, now I am going to move my stitch marker or hairpin to the back loop of the very first half double crochet that I did on round 3, and into each of the remaining back loops I'm going to do 2 half double crochets each. So what that means is at the end of round 3 we're going to have 8 plus 8, 16 half double crochet stitches. So make 2 half double crochets into each of the back loop stitches right there. Alright, let's repeat this and I'll see you at the end of round 3. Okay, moving on. Now we're at the end of round 1, 2, 3. Round 3. We're going to join into the very first stitch. Remember, we're joining when we join at the end of each round of the half double crochet stitches. We're joining under both loops. Alright, but when we're joining, when we're making loops, we're joining into the back loop. Alright, that's done. Now chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again, heading on to round 4. And in the front loop, see, I already marked the back loop, so I'm not going to worry about that. Into the front loop only. In crochet, it is shortened as FLO, and back loop is BLO. Okay, slip stitch into the front loop of the same stitch where you joined. Chain 5 again, slip stitch into the front loop, the FLO of the next stitch, and chain 5, slip stitch into the FLO of the next stitch. But at the end of the round, we will have 16 chain 5 loops. Alright, we're at the end of round 4, and we're going to join into the back loop of the first stitch on round 3. Remember, we are ending with 16 chain 5 loops. Heading on to round 5, chain 1, 2 half double crochets into the first stitch. Okay, remember that the first stitch of the round is always the stitch where we joined into, where we connected the last and the first stitch. 2 half double crochets, and I'm going to take my stitch marker and move it up, place it into the back loop of the first stitch. Heading on, so 2 half double crochets in there, and in the same stitch, in the next stitch I will make 1 half double crochet into the we're working into the back loops, okay, into the back loops. Remember that for the very first one we work under both loops, in the back loop, not under both loops, in the back loop of the first stitch, because that's the last stitch left. We already made a chain 5 loop in the front loop. Okay, so that's it. Now that's 1 half double crochet. Now in the next stitch, which is the third, 2 half double crochets. In the next stitch, 1 half double crochet. In the next stitch, 2 half double crochets. Alright, so this one we want to do now, 1 half double crochet here. In the next back loop, 2 half double crochets. In the next one, in the next 2. 1 and 2, 1 and 2, until we complete the round. End of round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Round 5. It's time to join, and we will join under both loops. Alright, there we go. Heading on to round 6. Chain 1, and chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And into the front loop only, slip stitch, the front loop of the very first stitch. Okay, slip stitch. At the end of round 6 we should have 24 chain 5 loops, because on round 5 we have 24 stitches due to the increase. So we repeat that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. slip stitch into the front loop only, and so on and so forth. We'll go chain 5, slip stitch into the front loop only, repeat around. Okay, now it's time to join end of round 6. We have one more round, two more rounds, one round of increase and one round of chain 5 loops. So let's join. All right, to the back loop right there. Chain 1, round 7, 2 half double crochets into the first stitch. I'm going to move this into the back loop of the first stitch here. Okay, and now half double crochet, 1 half double crochet into the next stitch, 1 half double crochet into the next stitch. Okay, and in the next stitch 2 half double crochets. In the next 1 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet. I hope you understand that when I say next stitch, I mean the back loop of the next stitch. I'm just not repeating the words over and over again. So we're working in the back loops, alright, doing the solid stitches in the back loops. Where are we? Okay, 2 and then 1 and then 1. Alright, so this is what we want to repeat. 2 half double crochets, 1 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet, 2 half double crochets, 1 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet. We're going to repeat this around, and we're going to have 32 half double crochet stitches at the end of the round. Alright, round 7, end of round 7. So we're going to join heading on to round 8, which is the last round. 2, 3, 4, 5, and slip stitch in the front loop. So at the end of round 8, we're going to have 32 chain 5, 32 chain 5 loops. 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip stitch in the front loop only. Okay, notice that I left this stitch marker here so that I know where to join at the end of the round. Slip stitch into the front loop. Alright. Slip stitch. Alright, so we are done with round 8. Now we're heading on to make the handle. A handle. So let's first of all join into the first stitch there. Alright, so instead of snipping this yarn, we will just go ahead and crochet the handle. Join chain 1. Now at the back here, you're going to notice that it kind of on this part, we're going to crochet into the back loop and the third loop. Remember before I mentioned that we weren't working into the third loop, just a regular back loop. This time we're going to be working into the back loop and into the third loop. So basically into the two back loops. To clarify which one is the third loop, you want to check out the video that I mentioned before. It explains clearly the third loop. Okay, so we'll go in there under those two loops and make our first single crochet, and we'll go in the next as well on the two loops, and in the next, this is 3 or 1 2 3 4 and 5. Right, chain 1, turn, single crochet into the 5 stitches. And 5, chain 1, turn, single crochet across again until we have 13 rows of stitches, and then we will sew it onto the opposite end of the scrubby. I want to ensure that this is centralized so that I can same number here and same number here, but even if not the same number, but centralized, and sew it. And when you're done with the sewing, you're going to have this. So that's it, as simple as it gets. Thank you for joining me on this tutorial. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I'd really appreciate it if you like this video and subscribe to Yarn Craftee channel. God bless you. Bye.